Looks like I have time for another video before I have to go and live my life on this rare Monday off. Real quick, I just want to share some thoughts on why I think Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is such a big deal, and someone that we should really get behind and support. I know there's some people that are on the left, even further left of me, that feel like she's not going far enough in a lot of what she's doing. Being a social democrat, to some people on the left isn't enough. So that's a reality that we have to face when we try to build unity to really fuel this movement that's coming. So what I like about Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is that she is really bringing issues to the forefront that no one has had the courage to really bring up. And when I say no one, like, I understand Bernie Sanders has done an incredible job in his time serving the people of Vermont, and I think that's very commendable. The difference is that the media had been very effective at shutting Bernie Sanders out of the conversation for the majority of his career up until 2016. And honestly, I think Bernie Sanders is the best person to be our next president. And as everything stands now, that's the person I would support. So I do want to give proper credit to him. He has been a voice for the people, and I appreciate that. But the thing with Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is that she has an energy. She has an electricity to her that draws people from both sides in. And the people on the right have been very critical of her, but also in a very weird, obsessive way. Because she's so young, they've been trying to discredit her for not having the right type of experience for the role. To me, well, first of all, her experience is in line with someone who should be a representative in Congress. She does have political experience working as an intern in DC, I believe. That's a better background than most people. But more importantly, as a representative of people, which is what a congressperson is, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is actually a voice for the people. She's not a voice for corporate interests. And so that, sadly, is extremely rare in today's world. So I think, first and foremost, the thing that is really cool about her is that she is representing the people. If you saw this committee meeting she was in last week that went viral, like, it was like one of the most viral things I think that's ever been on C-SPAN. She basically laid out why the election process is essentially corrupt, and how everyone in this committee is essentially to blame for the rules being undermined, and for people being able to skirt around the rules, and for rules just not being in place. And she really lays this out succinctly in a very professional way. As an attack dog for the people, I might add, like, when you see this video, like, this is someone who actually cares and is passionate, and that's rare from what we've seen in, at least in my lifetime in politics. You don't see a lot of people that are that passionate and are acting on behalf of the people. But if we're going to move forward and have any success in this country, we really do need to retract from corporate donors having obscene amounts of political influence to actually getting elected officials who are going to fight to represent us. I don't generally like to give away all the details of my life, but I actually live in California's 25th district, and our Congresswoman Katie Hill is like the first Democrat that's ever been elected to Congress from this district. And as a freshman congressperson, she has been a little bit disappointing, quite honestly. One, she's already gone out and supported Kamala Harris for president. I think she might be the first person to endorse anybody. For two, you can see her on Fox News talking about how the Democrats will essentially cave on the border wall conversation for increased border structures. It's like it's really semantics, and she's kind of at the forefront of that. And I honestly understand. She lives in a district that she thinks she needs to um, speak to the center, but what she's failing to recognize is that the left movement is what got her elected, and what we want to see are progressive policies and not regressive policies. So when you compare someone like Katie Hill to AOC, under normal circumstances, Katie Hill might be like, oh, well, at least it's marginally better. At least it's better than Steve Knight, a Republican who definitely didn't have the interests of the people in mind. But you can compare her to someone else who's passionate actually about representing people, and it's like, oh, well, Katie Hill, you got to step your game up. And I think that's going to be the big thing. If AOC can keep this momentum, she's going to raise the bar out of what we expect from our representatives, and that's what I'm most excited about. When you watch her, she really can be a bulldog for the people. She's getting out there. She's talking about issues that have not been talked about. She's talking about a progressive tax rate on people that are making more than $10 million to tax them 70% or more. She's reminding us that the greatest periods of success in this country were when we had a high tax rate on the top earners. And so she's really been able in a short period of time to shift the conversation in a way that no one has had the courage to do before. And even the Democrats that are fighting against her, they're saying like, hey, you should know the rules of the way things work here. You're saying this because you don't understand the way it works. Those people are just outing themselves for having no backbone, for not being courageous, for not doing what they were elected to do, which is represent us. And so yeah, I'm excited to see where she goes and what happens from here. She has my support. She's shifting the conversation. Any gradual change is better than the status quo, and I'm not generally a fan of incremental change, but we're not gonna change the way this country operates economically overnight. But if we do want to actually to support and fight for people who are struggling and people who face racism, discrimination, and poverty, all three of those things stem from economic oppression. And so far, what hasn't been in the conversation is changing economical philosophy in this country and really shining a light on the fact that free markets can't save us from everything, and government spending isn't always inherently bad. And so yeah, I give her a lot of credit. She's really someone who's putting her neck out there. I hope that continues. I hope she continues to be a free speaker and a free mind. And quite honestly, when you hear her speak, if in the back of your head you're not a little worried for her security, like that, I don't think you're a realist, because people who've spoken out like she has in the past, it doesn't always end up well for them. So yeah, I commend her, and I want to give her some support here. And I know a lot of people who are probably watching this, and when I say a lot of people, I mean like the 4 people who watch this. I think like at least 3 of you will probably be big proponents of AOC, and yeah, I'm on the same page. She's doing some incredible stuff, and I'm excited to see where she's going to take this conversation next. And